So y'all, we're about to go live. If everyone can mute. And we are now live.
I don't have your email, but I assume the first thing is to do attendance.
Sure, or just a general introduction of the committee and attendance. Yeah.
So, so welcome to those who may be joining us virtually, as well as those who are present on this Google Meet. I'm Jane Matthews. I am chair of the Asheville Riverfront Commission's Planning and Design Review Committee. And members who are in attendance, if you could please welcome yourself or identify yourself and let us know you're here with us. That's you, Kate and Joe, if you could just acknowledge.
I'm here, Kate and Kaya, landscape architect.
Joe Ransmeyer, woodworking.
Okay, am I missing anybody, Sasha?
No, we have two absences today of Jeremy Goldstein and Lindsay Roden.
So do we have a quorum? I guess we do have a quorum. So we can begin with, if the applicant would like to make a presentation, we're welcome to receive that now.
Great, thank you. My name is Thomas Cizik, and I am an architect with Ruger Riley Inc. here locally in Asheville. And thank you for letting me present today. My clients are as well local. Both of them are active in the River Arts District there. They have a store there, and they also, one of them is an artist. So they're very active in this process and excited about building their design. So just to start kind of, for those who are not familiar with the area, the address for this site, it will be at 57 Roberts Street. It's just north of Klingman, and it is in that Klingman depot sector for design. The lot itself is relatively small. We have a lot approximately 50 feet wide by about 100 feet deep. And you can see in the images on the top, the one in the middle top is the front of the lot. And as you can see, it is vacant. Most of that area is vacant in that surrounding area. You can see the left and right, it's similar. To the left is just a flat lot where some parking occurs right now. And to the right is another vacant lot. Now, these lots do slope down towards the river. As you go on this lot about 50 feet back, it'll start then to slope, and it does drop down to, in the rear, where there is zoned a grass alleyway, which currently isn't used, and it's it's a little tight in spaces, so I'm not sure how functional it is, but it does exist behind there. Immediately across the street, if anyone's familiar with Robert Street, it is a tight two-way road, and immediately across from us in the middle there, you'll see it's just an old stone wall. It is a residential neighborhood in that area, so perched up there, you will see homes that are probably a story and a half up. And then to the right and left of that, it's the same. It's just some light residential that's probably been there for quite some time. And then looking down the street, of course, there is some manufacturing to the south of us. And there's also a lot of, there are pockets of art studios and older abandoned styled industrial buildings as well. Which is common for that area. I think where we're at, there is a lot of vacant space, and it is quite open for construction there. And we do see some residential being built further down the road to the south, which is nice to see. The lot itself has proved a little challenging just because of the size. It is 50 by 100. And my client was very, very interested in making sure that there was some kind of pedestrian level retail art gallery space there. So we did our best. We went through a lot of early assistance meetings, and we did our best. We weren't able to build it as large as we would want it to see, but that's due to the kind of the parking requirements with the narrow street. There really wasn't any room for street parking along that road. So we did our best to kind of make parking available behind the building. So this area, this is kind of talk about the design. This area is the Clingman Depot sector, and it's kind of, we wanted to, in that regard, we wanted to provide residential. And as I said, my client is also really interested in keeping an art gallery on that low pedestrian level as well. It is a 3-story building, so the gallery and parking will be on the first level. We did attempt with the sloping to provide parking at a lower level. It didn't work out just because the ramping just didn't work. It wouldn't function properly. So we do have parking with a smaller gallery space on the front side. The number of units in this building are approximately 3 residential units, and the square footage is approximately on each floor 2,400 square feet, except for the ground level. We have a gallery space of about 700 square feet, and then the parking beyond that. Let's see here. If you want to pull up the site plan for me, that'd be great. Sorry, it's sheet A802. Yep. That'll work. Sorry, can you go back to the first level? I think one more. There you go. Thank you, Sasha. So this kind of gives you an idea of the plan layout. Again, given the site conditions and the need to provide parking, we do have a couple spots for, including the handicap, for the art gallery, and then the rest is provided for the residential units above. Given that we want to maximize the footprint, and we have a building that's 35 feet wide, just so we can get access to that back rear parking. And in the rear, we do have trash in a trash area that is surrounded with an enclosure. And then the idea is that stormwater management will occur under the slab and exit out the rear. And then we do have landscaping up in front. So we were required for this area to have a 6-foot planting area. We're currently showing a couple serviceberry trees out there. And then we have an 8-foot pedestrian walkway, which will be immediately joined to the retail space to allow for foot traffic. And then we're limited on space there. We do provide a little storage underneath and a mechanical space to bring in utilities and to provide storage for the art gallery. But what you're seeing there is the art gallery. As small as it is, they're still very excited about being able to offer some level of pedestrian retail. And then the floor above that will be a couple rental units. Real simple, but well designed and nice layout. And then the top floor will be another unit, which the owner currently is looking to call home for themselves. And they have a little balcony off the back that they'll utilize too for the views. And then on the roof, they are very green conscious. They're working with Sugar House Solar right now to look into what they can do to minimize their footprint. They are very excited about doing panels up there. So they're hoping that will fit into the budget and they can provide electricity and power to the building through solar. And the rooftop units are really small. They'll be concealed by a parapet wall, and they're not looking to do too much up there besides the panels and have those rooftop units. To kind of get into the design portion of this, I think on sheet to kind of walk around the building. This is the facade of the building. Again, we're trying to look into doing something more that looks along the lines of the neighboring buildings, the older buildings that are there, old manufacturing buildings. So looking at a flat roof, we're looking at larger double hung windows. We have bigger steel canopies. We wanted to maximize the fenestration on the front, especially at the gallery level, not only to meet code, but to kind of give a little more light and feel to the building. There are brick insets. The clients did want to spend the money and do something a little more robust. They don't want to do framing and stucco. They want a masonry building. They want to make sure it's going to last and hold up and doesn't waver in the wind. And they really want to make sure this is something that's going to last a lifetime. So they went with brick veneer on the front, and they're doing a painted block CMU on the sides and the rear. The way we are zoned, unfortunately, we can go to the property line, and there is intent from the neighboring site that they will build to the property line. So to the north, we did leave the facade quite blank in anticipation that there will be a building right next to us. On the other side, we were able to get some air and light in with the drive. So we did do a lot of fenestration on that side. And then on the rear of the building, we also have quite a bit of fenestration with the windows and bigger openings. The balcony you see in the rear will be all steel. They want to, again, keep that industrial manufacturing look to the style. So that will all be steel and concrete and veneer throughout. As far as the finishes and kind of the tones of the building, there is a lot of red brick in that area, and my client is well aware of that, but they also wanted to add something a little lighter, a little more character, a little variety. So they are hoping to do a lighter brick veneer on the front side. And then with limestone and brick accents as far as the insets, and then doing a black windows, the larger factory style black double hungs, and then at the storefront as well, doing a black with a canopies darker tone as well. And then lighting, they're trying to keep in kind of tune with the neighborhood as well, within more of an industrial and kind of what they see going up currently in that area as well, and kind of more of a vintage style lighting, more to enlighten the building and the walkway at the pedestrian level, but not to impede on our neighbors. It is a residential area. We don't want to make it so bright where we are flooding our neighbors with too much light. So enough to watch the building and make that feel like a very safe and pleasant area for walking at night, and to bring people into the gallery. I think for as far as design, they want to keep in tune with the area, but they also want to make something that's going to last. And they're very excited about helping the neighborhood. They do sit on these meetings with other buildings. They see the activity in that area. And they are a bit of pioneers for that area. There is a lot of vacant land, but they're hoping to make this happen given the tight restrictions and the difficulties of the site. But they're hopeful that this will add to the community and be something that will hopefully for the neighbors, something they can feed off of and start to build on and finish off that street. That was all I had. I'm happy to answer any questions if anyone has any.
Thomas, I have a few questions. This is Jane. I see that there's a standing seam roof on the back porch, and I'm wondering what that is, what color that might be, and the steel porch, if that frame is painted.
Yeah, I think they were looking more. They were something that's not going to heat up too bad, but something that's not going to stick out. They were looking at doing just a galvalume look, just something that's just a natural material and not a bright red or a bright green or anything like that. Just something more natural and then to the material itself.
And the steel railing and the frame system for the porch, is that going to be painted?
It will be painted, but it will be. It will probably be black or a dark gray. It'll be something more in keeping to the building colors and nothing bright or flashy.
And in terms of you said that the sides and the back are all CMU. Is that a flat CMU surface?
Correct. It is. We are, because of the budget, we are trying to do a flat, but we're looking to paint it in the tone of depending on what the final veneer color is, but we're hoping to be somewhere in something more organic and something more like a beige, like you see on the front of the building.
Did you look at any integral coloring to the block at all as a solution?
You mean adding color to the block?
Yeah, to match the brick.
Yeah, we have, and it comes down to cost. The materials right now are just so outrageous that we're really worried about our budget right now. So we have thought about that, but we also like the idea of painting it because of the waterproofing system that will go with that paint, to provide for the veneer so that it doesn't weaken and provides a better shield for the block.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Oh, one more question, Thomas. On the exposed concrete, is that painted or is that parged at all?
No, I think we want to leave that natural if we can.
And are those scuppers on the side of the building? I guess that would be the south side.
Yes.
And are those aluminum, like a painted aluminum downspout system?
Again, those will probably, whatever we end up painting them metal, something in that keeping, whether they're black or we leave them as galvalume, something a little more natural to go with the building.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, Thomas, could you go back? Could we go back to that drawing? It's just up. Or Sasha?
Sure, just tell me what sheet, if I was going to tell you all,
remember.
just tell me whatever sheet you want me to go to.
Well, that sheet's fine. There's not a whole lot of landscape on here, but there's a couple quick just comments. The service berries are great trees, love them. But one thing I saw in the rendering, and then on this drawing, it's a great example of the scale that we're showing, I think is really nice, but that's not indicative of a service berry tree, so I don't know if there is overhead utility along the street right there. Is that why you chose the service berry?
It is, yeah, right above that area are power lines, and they're pretty low.
Okay.
I don't know if that's going to change, so I did worry about getting something too big there because of that.
Yeah, no, that's a good option. Maybe I would just suggest, and again, it doesn't matter, it falls within what's approved, a single leader. Just sometimes the multi-stems can get really shrubby, and then just thinking about that nice pedestrian, access through there with the planted buffer, which is nice, but if there's a shrubby tree there, sometimes it's not easy to walk under. So just that might be something to consider. And then that 6-foot planting bed, is it me mulch underneath with trees? Is that the?
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I'm still working with civil on what's required there. We like to plan it up as much as we can. I do worry it is on that kind of more on the north side of the building.
Mm-hmm.
So I worry about things not being able to grow down low. But yeah, right now we were just thinking maybe a mulch, or if we can kind of get grass in there or some smaller plants, we definitely will.
Yeah, you could go with some cool season grasses and just plant those really densely. If you go with a plug size or something like that, you could get some good coverage. Might be one option. And then I had a question about that wall in the rear. Is that what, like 10 or 11 feet
It is, yeah. It's
grade?
probably close to 12, depending on how the grading goes. Yeah.
Okay. And can you remind me what's back there? I know it slopes down. Does it slope down to the rail?
It goes down to there's an alleyway. So right now there's a green alleyway down there, and then on the other side of that rail alleyway is another vacant lot.
Okay.
So right now it's just covered in kudzu and trees, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, again, this isn't required, but just the area of disturbance and thinking about how we can, cover that soil and then maybe help to just soften that tall wall back there for.
Yeah, there is a little room. We do have storm management so water will be coming up. There is some room in the back where we can try to get some planting in there. My clients are very much gardeners, so they want to try to add what they can.
Yeah.
So we could look at even doing something, if it's not too invasive, that might cover the concrete back there, maybe some kind of vines or something.
Yeah. Great. Thank you.
Thomas, can you talk a little bit about your stormwater system? You said it's under the slab, and then it's dispersing water then behind the building in this area that we're talking about. Can you talk a little bit about what system you may be looking at?
Sure. If you can go, Sasha, if you go up to the site plan. The civil engineer is on board. They're still working on it, but they believe they're moving towards a storm tech system, it's called. If you go up to.
And that purifies water going into it? If I'm correct?
Yeah, if you zoom in there, I believe there's a type of filtering system that occurs, and then it'll come out that bottom left corner there is where it'll exit out of the wall.
And that's stormwater from the roof, all the impervious surface, everything that's handling it all.
Correct. Everything will come down, and from what I was told by civil engineer, it'll go through a row of systems that will bring it to this final storm tech area, and then the storm tech will exit it out of the back.
Thomas, when you say exited out of the back, do you mean connect with the city storm drain of some kind, or just spilling out, or what do you mean?
No, it will be spill out into a rock bed back there. And from what I'm being told, it won't all come out once. It'll slow it down, and it'll slowly come out that back into the rock bed. I don't believe there's any stormwater for them to tie in that location currently.
Okay. I had one question about the parking area. Is there just going to be an opening to the parking area, not a garage door as such, but just an opening that the cars will pass through?
Correct. There's no plans for gates quite yet. My client is worried about that area a little, about protecting the vehicles, but currently they want to leave it open if they can. So right now the parking's open on 3 sides, and then it enters through the side driveway there.
Okay.
And your trash enclosure, you said, was wood and steel?
Correct.
Is that solid wood? I mean, is it covered so we don't see the trash?
Yeah, it'll be solid. There won't be any. It'll probably be kind of what you see fencing, but there won't be any gaps in the fencing. It'll be 99% concealed from the sides.
So also the access to the upper 2 levels will be through the stairway. Then there's no plans for an elevator or anything like that?
Correct. The building is sprinklered, so yeah, they just have one stairwell going up to the 3 units.
Are there any other questions for Thomas?
I don't
If
have
not-
any.
I don't have any other questions.
If not, is there anyone who'd like to make a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve. You've got a lot going on in that small footprint. I imagine that was a lot of concepts. So
Thanks. Yeah, we're not crazy about having so much, not having enough landscape there. At one point they were looking at doing maybe a green roof, but unfortunately that site became really complicated, especially trying to get into the parking requirements. They looked for buying the adjacent site. They looked at everything they could to trying to get parking out of there and make it a little less concrete, but they weren't able to find anything.
Mm-hmm.
I'll second the motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve this project at 57 Robert Street. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 And I'm aye as well. Thank you, Thomas.
Thank you.
If I could just say one thing,
Sure.
as someone who's had a business on Robert Street for many years, over 26 years now, we're all aware. I mean, I'm aware, and I know everyone else is, of the lack of sidewalk along that section of Robert Street. It'll be great to have, 50 feet of sidewalk, but besides that, we're still left with nowhere for people to walk. Hopefully, it'll be filled in and joined to yours.
Thank you.
So just as a note to everybody here and the general public, this is the committee vote, which is great. And this project will move. Thomas, we haven't talked about this because you haven't actually filed any permits yet for this project. Is that correct?
Correct.
So this project will move to the new design review committee or design. I'm not sure, Design Review Committee, which is a new committee that's being formed right now, and probably will not have any official business until May. But I think this vote gives you the confidence, I think, to move ahead with your level 1 submittal and start working on all those things. And by the, I think it'll match up. So by the time that committee is up and running, you probably be maybe first on their first agenda.
Okay.
So
We're hoping to be finished by the end of the month with all our permit drawings, and to get into the city. I don't know how that plays with that schedule.
So Sasha, this can't go to the AARC?
not if he hasn't submitted yet. If he had submitted level 1 permits, like say before the vote, yes, it would be going to the AARC.
Okay.
So that was kind of our dividing line last Tuesday.
Okay.
Yeah, I think, Thomas, this would be, since this is a level 1, but it's a major work, so it needs the design review vote. And I am not, I think basically you need that official design review vote before a zoning permit is issued. So I think if you turned in your drawings at the end of March, there's probably going to be some comments going back and forth between you and staff. And so I don't think it should hold you up.
Okay, that's what I was curious. They're anxious to kind of break ground, and I don't know where that kind of puts us as far as the timeline. If there's another, as far as me going for permanent, I know there was another vote.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, that's the one. Okay, all right.
Mhm.
And do I need to schedule that, or how's that work? Do I have to wait?
So it's a brand new committee that's starting up. So I think when you submit I know about it. Staff Shannon Tuck is online here. She will be the official liaison to that board, and we know about it. And once you submit your permits, that helps us, But
Okay, then I can schedule for that
Mhm.
vote. Okay.
We have you kind of. I have a list of kind of projects that are in the works, in the pipeline. So
Okay.
we know about you.
All right, great. So for me, I just go for permit and then worry about, then that will kick me into the schedule for getting that vote.
I think so. Yeah. And just, always feel free to reach out if you have any
Okay.
questions. And what we're doing is I believe we've advertised, basically this new committee is being formed from the Riverfront Commission and the Downtown Commission mostly. And council will be appointing 4 members from each commission, probably April 23rd. And so then maybe within a week of that, there'll be an administrative kind of orientation meeting for that group to get going. And those 8 people will appoint a 9th member who's a design professional at large. And we'll be taking applications for that as well. And then so I would anticipate that in May, that commission will have its first meeting with business to be able to start looking at projects.
So are we, even if we go for a permit to get our permit, we're probably likely not gonna be able to start construction till after May? Is that?
If everything else is in line, and we can continue to just talk about it, but
Okay.
I think, until staff has actually looked at your permit drawings, sometimes that takes a little,
Yeah. Okay. All right.
it might be like you have the meeting, it's voted, you get the zoning permit right away and you're set, and you can start pretty quickly. So,
Okay. All right. Great.
Shannon unmuted herself. Shannon, did you want to add to that at all?
I was just going to say that we're tentatively targeting May 18th as being the meeting date for the design review committee. Sasha already went through. I was just going to say, we're expecting appointments to be completed by the end of April and a meeting in May, but that's what Sasha said. So I don't have too much. I don't think at this stage we have much more. It is a little bit of a proceed at your own risk. If you invest the time into drawings and then you go before the design review committee and there's some issue, I don't know on earth what that would be, but it is a little bit of a proceed at your own risk until you get that approval from the design review committee. Oh, it is voluntary compliance. I'm sorry. Never mind. I also work with the HRC, so sometimes I get the mandatory compliance and voluntary compliance mixed up.
But generally, it sounds like from the discussion and the vote that this
Yeah.
committee thinks, you're on the right track, and
Yeah.
that will carry a lot of weight.
Okay.
Yeah,
I would say that that's a good sign, Thomas, for you.
Well, my clients are, it's been a long road for them, so they're excited, and I don't want to crush their hopes and dreams. So
You may want to, before you spend more time, you may want to reach out to the development services staff, the level 1 review staff, about the sidewalk and the door swing. We don't usually allow doors to swing into any portion of the required width of the sidewalk.
okay.
And we're also having a lot of difficulty with these sort of zero lot line buildings that get pulled up to the street or right up to the sidewalk with accessible entrances. We would recommend that you do more of a vestibule entrance, so that we don't run into these slope issues as people are trying to enter that building. Now, if you have a super flat site and you feel confident about it, it could work. But we've just been having a lot of trouble with that. And it's not a supportable variance, because it was designed that way. And then somebody comes back later and wants to modify the width of the sidewalk in order to accommodate an accessible ramp. That's not something that is typically supported. So you just want to be really careful.
Okay. I mean, but we do have plans just to be at grade for that entrance. We're hoping to do no sloping there. I don't know if that helps our cause at all, but it's such a small gallery that I think adding a vestibule, this.
Right. I recognize that. So that's why I just want to make sure it's not an issue.
Okay. Thank you.
Sasha, I was just wondering, I don't see why, because you're changing the design review procedure, it should slow down their ability to move forward. It doesn't what we did today count as anything really towards their approval process?
Well, this committee is not in the UDO. Let's put it that way. So in the UDO says that you need an official vote by, it said AARRC, and now it says this new design review committee. And so Shannon, I don't know if you want to address that. If there's any other, Shannon would be even more of a process expert than I am. But
it's for better or for worse, the process requirements are going to be based on the date that the formal application is submitted. So the work that you all do as this design review committee is almost like an extra benefit courtesy that you offer to an applicant, to kind of do this kind of early review and pre-review. And I mean, that's kind of how we have to look at it now anyway. So it's in their best interest because it kind of gives them some good feedback, can be sort of a resource for people to kind of get them on the right path. But technically it's going to have to follow the new process. So it's worth it. It's a good thing, but it doesn't help them with the timeline, unfortunately. It's kind of just bad timing, just with the formation of this brand new committee and the time it takes to kind of get members appointed.
So I think that's it for this agenda item. I had put together a very quick draft agenda, and I sent it out. I apologize for sending it late. I had sent it, it was posted, I believe, yesterday, but really the only other item to discuss was this new process, and I kind of went through it. But basically next week, next Thursday, the 11th, I believe you all have a Riverfront Commission meeting, and Todd Okolachaney and or Shannon will talk you through this whole new process. And we're really looking for 4 members of the AARRC at least to apply for council appointment. And and Shannon will review all the requirements of that commission. Basically, I think it's a majority have to be either design review professionals or have a special interest or background training. So, and we discussed trying to seat that commission very quickly and really giving this very quick turnaround. It's all based on the council schedule. So if we had done that, I think applications would have been due today, maybe. I don't know. It was going to be so fast. It seemed discourteous to commission members really to do it that way. So we extended it to April. So council will be appointing in April. Does anybody have any questions they want to talk about? But it will be discussed at length at the Riverfront Commission meeting. Okay. And we do expect it to probably be a little bit more time consuming than this committee has been for, it'll be a little more, there'll be more business because it'll be both Riverfront and downtown and any hotels. But it's going to formalize this process a lot more. And I think it's really going to help hopefully design throughout the city. So that's all I have as staff.
Guess with that, do you want us to have a motion for adjournment?
Or you can adjourn the meeting, Jane, either way.
Well, Thomas, thank you again for bringing your project. I wish you luck. And with that, with no other business, I will call the adjournment of this meeting of the Planning and Design Review Committee. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you all. And thank you,
Thank you,
Kate.
staff.